2023 is almost certainly going to continue the horrible trends of rising prices and supply chain shortages that we saw in 2022. We're also seeing a steady rise in crime, and the weak response from the court systems has only emboldened criminals. You can be a victim of this, or actively work on skills to overcome the situation. This list of skills can seem daunting at first, but you will likely surprise yourself if you try to get good at them. No one plays an instrument well their first time trying. Number 1. Repair skills. Things you own will become more expensive and even impossible to replace once they break. Luckily, there are videos and forums on how to fix literally everything. You can almost always find a video on your specific car, toaster, laptop, you name it. You should know the basics of soldering and epoxy use. Also, know the maintenance schedule of your car and other expensive machines. Changing out belts and oil when the manual says will save you a lot on future repairs. So many expensive appliances can be saved with a simple replacement of a heating element or computer chip. Learn to replace computer screens and reattach wires. Number 2. Sewing and restoration skills. From sewing on a lost button to spray painting an old vase, many items can be given a second life. A cheap hook needle and strong thread can save a purse or backpack. Shoes can be whitened and recolored. Learn the limitations of spray paint and when to use it. Sometimes furniture is restorable. Everything you restore or fix is money in your pocket. Number 3. Cooking skills. Eating at home will save you a lot of money, but you can't just eat ramen and Hot Pockets every day. That is a recipe to damage your body, perhaps permanently. You'll have to manage an inventory of food while varying your diet. Recipes of every kind can be found on YouTube, and they have great tips on saving money. Everyone should have a fire extinguisher too, especially if you are new at cooking. This isn't the time to incinerate your property. Number 4. Nutrition and exercise. Some pharmacies are completely out of antibiotics. The supply chain has all sorts of critical medicines out of stock. Shelves in some areas don't even have Advil or cough syrup. Have a vitamin and cardio program that will keep you healthy so you don't need to rely on the pharmacy. Keep your immune system up with zinc, vitamin D, and vitamin C. Your increased cardio and health will also give you the ability to work longer hours. Number 5. Home defense. All crimes are seeing a stark rise, and this includes home invasion. You need to have a firearm to save your life if needed. I recommend a shotgun for beginners. They are easier to shoot, cheaper, and more intimidating. You're also less likely to shoot someone or yourself with them accidentally. Very few areas in the US have laws against owning shotguns. Get a good brand like Mossberg or Remington. Above all, learn gun safety and practice shooting them. The ammo is cheap for shotguns, which is another bonus. If you can't purchase a gun, at least have a baseball bat or K-bar knife. Keep these weapons at the ready by your bed. You can even have spare weapons in other rooms hidden or locked in safes. This way they are always ready. A dog is a good alarm, but not worth much for home defense. Western dogs have had their ferocity bred out of them for generations. Most people who believe their dogs will attack a stranger for them are just living in a fantasy world. Dogs will make a big scary display, but rarely attack. And getting a dog bite on someone's leg or arm isn't a finishing move. Someone on drugs or with a lot of determination will power through that. Your dog would have to engage in a sustained and relentless attack to guarantee your safety. Also, is your dog bulletproof? Knife-proof? You need a weapon. Be sure you know how to clean and oil your firearms so that it runs properly. Know what to do if it malfunctions. You can buy dummy rounds in order to practice loading and clearing jams. This is an often overlooked skill. Number 6. Self-defense outside the home. Whether you are in a parking lot or at work, you need to be able to defend yourself. Carry a self-defense knife. Make sure it locks well when the blade is out, and that there are grooves to stop your hand from sliding onto the blade. Avoid cheap $25 gas station knives. Try to spend at least around $100 if possible. Get into a self-defense class or martial arts training. They can cost sometimes, but even a little training is often more than enough to defeat an assailant. At least study them online if you do not have the funds to attend. This is also a good time to get a concealed carry license. Though they can be expensive, you may save a life by getting one. Remember to do all these things legally. Especially check what kind of knife you are allowed to carry in your city and those around you. Some counties don't even allow pepper spray, so be careful. Number 7. Gardening and farming. If you have a yard, try gardening. Plant some fruit trees. They aren't hard to maintain and often produce more food than a single person can eat. You could also buy some egg-laying chickens. Just build them a shelter and you will have free eggs. The cost of eggs has skyrocketed recently. The chicks will be fun to raise, and eggs are known as a superfood, aka very nutritious. Young chicks are about as cheap as buying hamsters. They're only $5 to $10 depending on what breed you want. If you have the stomach for it, you can even breed and slaughter rabbits. They taste great and multiply very quickly. You could slaughter chickens as well, of course. Your ancestors did it. You wouldn't be here today if that ability wasn't buried in your genes somewhere. Number 8. Network and people skills. No one person can master all these skills. You need to build friends both online and more importantly in real life. Maybe you can't fix your car, or you have a repair that requires 2 people to complete it. Well, you could give a person some of your eggs or avocados to help you. This is just an example, but you get my point. People in the gun, farming, nutrition, and sewing communities are beyond helpful in my experience. They bend over backwards for beginners. Focus on eliminating your abrasive qualities and find people that want to work together with you. I want to reiterate that your first time trying these things likely won't turn out the best. That's okay. You need a string of failures and losses behind you to become good at something. Welcome them as part of the process. I'm certainly no master in all of these fields. I don't think anyone is. I made this list to give you some direction and ideas. Even just getting good at one of them will save you money and build friendships. I remember a kid next door to me used to terrorize the entire neighborhood with his bagpipe practice. For hours he would sit in his backyard and play. There is nothing worse on the ears than a bad bagpipe player. The guitar is much nicer to hear when someone is learning. However, over many months, he began to get quite good. I even now consider the bagpipes as one of my favorite instruments. I was overjoyed to hear him from my bedroom window play Amazing Grace, Gary Owen, Minstrel Boy, and Scotland the Brave, which you are hearing now. I had very little exposure to bagpipes as a Mexican American. I gained a real appreciation for the physical stamina and skill it takes to master this instrument of antiquity. My point in all this is that given enough time and dedication, a person can achieve anything. It is one of the unspoken secrets in our society, and will feel like magic when it happens to you. I'll leave links to a couple channels I think do great review and tutorial videos on these subjects below.